Reviewing politics in the year 2018 now. I must indeed thank you, Professor Tahir Mambang. He is the political analyst as well as the Vice Chancellor of Bayes University in Abuja. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us. The committee set up to investigate allegations of fraud against the Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor Usman Yusuf, has submitted its report. But after submitting the report of its findings to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the committee refused to make public their recommendations. The report is coming more than 7 weeks after the committee was set up by the President, Muhammadu Buhari, to look into the allegations against Professor Usman Yusuf. The chairman of the NHIS boards, Enyatu Ifani, had on October the 18th suspended the Executive Secretary. Professor Yusuf, however, reportedly defied the Governing Council's orders and resumed at the headquarters of the NHIS in Abuja. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, has assured motorists of adequate supply of petrol during the Yuletide season. The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mr. Mekanti Baru, gave the assurance during a tour of some filling stations in Abuja. Mr. Baru says that there is enough stock to last the next 60 days.
In recent years, fuel scarcity has characterized the Yuletide season, making it difficult and expensive for travelers. This year, however, seems different, as there are no signs of queues, particularly in the Federal Capital Territory.
Well, I'm excited for one that there's no queue. It takes the stress off you. And I think maybe they just got it right this time, or maybe it's just intervention. But I'm happy that there's no queue in festive season for a long time.
Reasons why there is no queue at this time around is that because there is still subsidy, and the fuel is being subsidized, and a lot of persons are bringing fuel into the country. And because the government is paying them, then the marketers are not going on strike.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, on a tour of filling stations in the FCT, blames the last fuel crisis in 2017 on the fraudulent activities of marketers.
The oil marketing companies were very busy diverting products, hoarding products. Of course, we are aware of some of their collaborators that aided and abetted them to help with the diversion and also hoarding.
Here shows of abundance of petrol beyond the Yuletide.
In late January to early February, we are bringing in about double the daily requirements of the country, and we're able to build up stock. At the moment, we have 60 days supply in tank, about almost 3 billion liters of PMS. That will last us, without bringing any extra drop of fuel, another 60 days.
While the authorities pat themselves on the back for the availability of petrol this period, many Nigerians look forward to how a uniform price of the product can be achieved across the country. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
Let's shift our gears now to our Abuja studios, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by to take us through a couple of more stories. Ibrahim.
Hello, Gimba. Well, Christmas is only a few hours from now, and celebrations here in the nation's capital are low-key this year, with many residents traveling out to spend time with friends and families across the country. Some FCT residents admit there is no obvious hike in prices of food items compared with previous years, but there isn't enough money to buy necessities for Yuletide celebrations. Our correspondent Kela Megwa reports that the preferred mode of travel this Yuletide is by air, owing to poor state of roads, but even that has its own challenges.
It is a day before Christmas, and at the city gates of the Federal Capital Territory, there isn't a decoration in sight. But then Abuja is known to be quite empty during the Yuletide, as most residents take the time to make what some call a yearly pilgrimage home.
We are like the Israelites. We always go home for our census, and Christmas is our census.
Tempers flared at the Nnamdi Azikiwe airport. Air Peace has just cancelled the flight to Benin, and the refund to these customers will be in 3 weeks.
It's pathetic because they said they cannot land in Benin. But Jalingo, Kaduna, it's very foggy. They can land there, but for some reason they can't land in Benin. So it's strange.
And my anger is that passengers who are here who don't have money to travel by road, what would they do? What they announced that it will take 3 weeks for you to get a refund. So those who doesn't have money to travel and they must travel by road, what do? They wait. We paid for money for services not rendered for the past 3 weeks.
For those who dare the horrors of Nigeria's roads, the Yuletide season came with the usual exorbitant price hike. Even though there's no fuel scarcity this year.
Everything kind of skyrocketed. Sometimes the fuel scarcity, there is no fuel scarcity, so I don't think it's fuel. I think people just hike prices because they think it's Christmas and all that.
And I traveled actually from Lagos down here. The cost was about 8,500 before, I think, last 2 weeks or so. But when I left yesterday, it was 10,500.
Pertain to life.
This driver is worried about the spate of armed robbery attacks on the roads in western Nigeria.
Me, I left Lagos day before yesterday. Immediately I left, people behind me, they stopped at Ife toll gate more than 3 hours because of armed robber in Osun State, especially Ilesha Express, that double lane. What people are facing there is very terrible.
At the Wuse market, traders complain of poor patronage. The customers say, though there is no noticeable price hike, basic amenities are still not affordable.
In Abuja, precisely, is workers. We have workers. We don't have many companies. So everybody depends on what the government will do. Contractors depend on government. Everybody is on government. So if the government did not bring out money, Abuja will survive it.
Cost of things is not so that expensive, but there is no money. So we just have to. Since it's festive period, we just have to.
Despite all this, you can still feel the magic in the air. An extra smile as people walk by. That cheer and goodwill that accompanies every Christmas. And most importantly, the hope that things will get better. Yes, Nigerians are some of the most resilient people on the planet. But it takes something truly wonderful to bring it out of them. And Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
Many thanks, Kayla. Time now to catch up with latest development in the world of business as we rejoin Lagos, where Ayo Tunde Balogun is standing by. Ayo.
You first. First Bank.
Many thanks, Ibrahim Madra. Indeed, it's time for the business news. Well, the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has highlighted steps taken by the government to increase revenue generation in the year 2019. This will include the introduction of a national single-window trading platform for the Nigerian Customs Service and automation of revenue collection processes, which is expected to increase revenue by over 90%. The minister, who was speaking at a news conference in Abuja, says a total of $5.4 billion has been paid for the Paris Club refund, $1.9 billion for export expansion grants, and $6.8 billion as payment for joint venture cash call. Our Nigeria's stock market begins the fourth trading week of December with a massive boost at the close of today's session. Ochimeze Obiwagu will tell us if this was a Christmas rally for equities.
Yes, Ayo, indeed, Santa Claus came to the market with a big Christmas gift, closing the market bullishly bullish. Now look at it. The market recorded massive gains with the overall index crossing near the 32,000 mark, up almost 4%. The Santa rally was felt across the sectors, with the oil and gas, consumer goods, and the industrial sectors coming up as top gainers. The gain by the oil and gas sector was powered by Seplat, which added 58 naira 8 kobo to its share price. The consumer goods was majorly driven by Nestle. That stock recorded a 10% increase, adding 147 naira. The industrial sector was led by Dangote Cement with an addition of 7 naira to its share price. There was a lot of bargain hunting as over 715 million shares were traded, worth over 5 billion naira in 2,789 deals. Our traders are optimistic this Santa rally will remain for the rest of the year, and barring any major shock, the market will begin the new year positive. For now, the market is closed for the Christmas holiday until Thursday, December 27, and traders left the floor cheering a Merry Christmas. And that was the stock market report. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago. Back to you, Ayo.
Well, thank you, Chimezie. Well, U.S. markets closed Mondays trading deeper in the red after a short session following reports that President Trump is discussing plans to remove Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Meanwhile, it's mixed performance for other major global markets for the Christmas Eve trading. Here are some of the figures. And that's a wrap on business news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The news at 10 continues shortly.
You first. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp hits at arrival of new signings to strengthen the squad in the January transfer window if injury woes persist. That's on sports news. Stay with us.